welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well as we look forward to the visit to Borussia Dortmund. Yes, 25th of October 2022, season 22-23 Champions League, match day 5. So it's almost over, we're already qualified. It's just a matter of whether we can guarantee top spot. And at this stage in the game, you have to go for top spot, even though you don't particularly know what's on the cards, even if you finish runners up at the moment. But I think that's the best you can do, and the best, and certainly based on what we've done so far, anything less than top spot will be a disappointment. So we're going to have a look forward to that today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. All these vlogs are coming out, all things City, past, present, and forever, of course. Lots of history stuff. There'll be plenty of that during the World Cup, which is coming up at the moment. Obviously, with all the games, it's mainly current stuff, but yes, I'll be back with lots of history vlogs during the World Cup, so plenty on the channel for you to enjoy. So join us, it'd be great to have you on board. Spread the word, and please just give us a little thumbs up, guys. It's nice to get views, of course it is, but it's just nice. You just press that button, it doesn't take a second, does it? Give us a thumbs up. I try and inform and entertain in my own inimitable way if I can. All right, let's talk about this game. It's on BT Sport. I think there were still tickets left for City fans. It's not the sort of thing I can afford at this stage. I would have, obviously, I think back I used to have 5-year plans when I was younger, but nothing quite worked out. So it is a struggle. If we ever get to a Champions League final and I can get a ticket, I'll probably go to that. But I do struggle at the moment to get to these sort of just normal games, if you like, even the knockout stages. So, but if you're going down there, stay safe. On BT Sport. Yes, just some general odds on the game and on the Champions League itself. Of course, please, I don't condone gambling, and when the fun stops, stop. Champions League, City are still the favourites, so if you fancy laying them, you still get a good price. I did that for a few years, as you may know if you've followed my old vlogs, but not so much. I don't do it at the moment. I just don't have the money to do it with, so I just don't do it. Simple as that's how I look at my betting side of things. City are 15-8 favourites, and Munich 11-2, PSG 6-1, Liverpool 8-1. Dortmund themselves are clickety-click. Yeah, Dortmund are 66-1. So not really well thought of, and they've been having a bit of a middling season. We'll chat about them in a minute. The match odds themselves, City 8-13 on. If you fancy a City win, I'll tell you now, I'm not overly optimistic, but yeah, fancy if you've got confidence in the Blues, and the 8-13 on isn't a bad price. 10-3 for the draw, which I think is far better value, and a Dortmund win is 4-1. So even that might look good if you're betting with your head rather than your heart, which is obviously, unless it's always best, isn't it? If you want to make money, if you're not bothered, just want a bit of fun, doesn't matter. Previously, yes, 14th of April 2021, the last time we played at their gaff, Dortmund won City 2, of course. The team that day: Ederson, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Zinchenko, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden, and Bernardo. A few of those will be starting this game. And despite being a goal down, we came back in the second half. Dortmund took the lead in the 15th minute. Haaland beat Stones, not playing for us. Haaland beat Stones to a long pass down the inside left channel and cut the ball back. De Hood's shot was blocked by Rodri. Bellingham transferred the ball from his left to his right foot before killing a shot in the top right-hand corner. Ederson got a touch on it, but there's little can do as the strike was so well placed he couldn't keep it out. But as stated, even though we went in at 1-0 down at half-time, second half was a turnaround. The 55th minute, the tie swung back our way with a City equaliser. A penalty was awarded to City after Can had headed a folding cross onto his outstretched arm, and the foibles of VAR and the laws these days, we got the penalty. And yes, Mr. Mahrez stepped up and smashed the penalty home above the keeper, about 2/3 of the way up the goal, but out of the keeper's reach. Well taken in this case, Mr. Mahrez, although he's not been too great recently. Unstoppable, perhaps, some would say. When we put the tie beyond out in the 75th minute, Mahrez and Bernardo worked a short corner from the right. The ball was cut back. Foden smashed a terrific strike of awesome power and pace inside the right-hand post. A fantastic goal that hits the keeper. Could not stop despite getting a hand to it. So it's a great goal. So there you go, a 2-1 win. Overall, we've only played them twice at their place, and we've won one and lost one. So let's hope it'll be 1-2, lost one. In charge, it's an Italian feel this week, guys. We've got the referees Davide Massa, who I've seen a few times over the years. He's Italian. His Italian assistants are Filippo Melli and Stefano Alassio. Fourth official is Rosario Abiso. The VAR at the European equivalent of Stockley Park is Massimiliano Irati, another guy I've sort of heard of before, but a great name. And yeah, just to break it all up, we've got a Spaniard making the cappuccino for Mr. Massimiliano. We've got Alejandro Hernandez from Spain is the assistant VAR, as I said, who's kept busy making the cappuccinos, etc., etc. So how are they doing? How's old Dortmund doing? Well, since we beat them on the 14th of September, again, yeah, probably worthy of that win on the night, but it's not absolutely outstanding, was it? In the league, they beat Schalke, and on Saturday, this Saturday just gone, they put a struggling Stuttgart team to the sword with a 5-0 win, which included a Bellingham double. So they are Bellingham's in form leading up to this. They lost to Cologne and they lost to top-placed Union Berlin, who are still top at the moment, as if they're playing at this today as I'm doing this. So I'm not too sure they've won today, but I think they're playing at the bottom of the league, so they would hope to. They also drew at home to Bayern as well since they played us last time. So a little bit better for them. They're just outside the top four. They sit fifth now after 11 games. And so despite a stuttering start, only 4 points behind Union Berlin, who was said of playing at this point in time. So they may end up 7 points behind them on the same games. But of course, the three behind Bayern, obviously you always think Bayern Munich are going to be up there. But they're only 3 points behind Bayern, who's sitting second spot. And the goals are spread around. Yeah, they are not prolific goal scorers. As I said, that 5-0 against Stuttgart was the exception. But you've got Bellingham with 6 goals this season, Coco with 4, and there's 3 players on 3, Roos, Brandt and Guerrero. So that's not too bad. They're spreading it about a bit, but Mr. Bellingham's sort of edging ahead on the goal scoring stakes. They progressed in the German Cup since we last played them. And in the Champions League, of course, they had the 2 games against Sevilla. They beat them very well in Spain, 4-1. But then a slightly disappointing 1-1 draw in the return leg at their place. So they were a bit frustrated by that. Of course, pleased us, so say, sort of... we always like to see Dortmund drop points because they're our main competitors. But a point may be enough in this game for Dortmund to guarantee qualification if the Sevilla Copenhagen game is a draw. But I don't think they're going to settle for a draw. I think Dortmund will attempt to achieve some level of consistency following on from their 5-0, and I think they'll be up for this one. I think that 5-0 Stuttgart was a welcome victory, and I think it will have boosted the confidence, especially someone like Bellingham, who's got a habit of scoring against us as well. And I think they may at least fancy equaling the 2-1 defeat at the Etihad. I think they probably turn that around and hope for a 2-1 defeat. Perhaps even better, who knows? I mean, the problem is with City is Pep's already intimated, been a little bit negative, saying everything will be okay as long as we don't get beat by 2 goals or more. So, so that's, for me, that's a negativity. I mean, of course Pep will try and win it. Of course we'll try and get a point. But if that's in the back of his mind, it is a little bit of a worry, because winning this group has always got to be the priority as far as City is concerned, certainly from this stage where we're in such a strong position. Anything less than that, I'll be very disappointed. But as ever, although Dortmund, as I say, found a little bit of consistency, it will all depend on what City do, because that's, at the end of the day, the biggest problem to City is City themselves, I think, this season. It certainly has been this season, how well we perform and whether certain players step up on the day. So it will depend on our City boys and the team he puts out. So if you look at my decisions, which I do after the last game, which was the 3-1 win against Brighton, to say City were not at their best against Brighton is a little bit underestimated or understated. I don't think we were. I think we won, and we deservedly won. I'm not going to say Brighton deserved to win the game, although they were ahead in most of the stats, which is very unusual at the Etihad or anywhere. Any team playing City is very rarely ahead in the stats. But of course, we're just not quite independently, players aren't reaching that level of consistency. Certain players have shown sparks, but they're not consistently doing it. So I think personally, to get anything out of this game in midweek, we're going to have to be a lot better. Pep will try for the win, of course he will. Say both teams know a draw is probably good enough, as I say, but Dortmund have got more need to get the victory. And I don't think City can afford to slacken off or have too many players average or under par on Tuesday night. And let's face it, in quite an intimidating atmosphere. We should be used to that. We are used to that. We shouldn't be too bad on that. But we do have a tendency in away games to sort of not get off to the quickest start sometimes and do silly things. So it'd be all a matter of obviously the guys being sort of psychologically ready as well. Will Pep rest anyone for the tricky Leicester game, which obviously takes place Saturday at 12:30 p.m. So they've got the Tuesday night game. I assume we may stay over in a day or two. I'm not sure what the plans are, but obviously it's quite a quick turnaround. Even though Tuesday to Saturday doesn't seem so. Obviously, you're talking Wednesday time they get back, Thursday. And then we've got a trip to Leicester on this for the Saturday morning. So at least it's only in the Midlands. At least we're not having to travel down south or anything like that. But I think he's got no option. I don't think he's got very little option up between now and the World Cup, but to basically put his strongest team out. He's not going to take any chances. And I think we'll go strong in both these games. We'll worry about the game after this when it comes. But I think we might have a problem. There's could have been a couple of knocks against Brighton. I mean, Haaland apparently did have a little knock using an ice pack, but he's hinted on Twitter that he'll be ready for this game and he'd be well up for it. So I don't think that's going to be a big problem with Haaland. But, at the end of the day, he probably put that tweet out at the night, and you never know overnight. Whatever knock he took might have swelled up or something like that. So we'll have to see. But I think we're fairly sure if he can play, he will play. Even if he has to play on crutches, I think Haaland will be playing. And Laporte as well took a late knock. So we'd be interested to know in Pep's press conference whether that was that serious or whether he's okay. Personally, I probably think he might have got rested for this anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about Laporte, but we'll see. Stones, of course, was on the bench. It will be a surprise to me if he starts in Germany, although the right back position perhaps could have a goal there, although I wouldn't want to, against the Dortmund strikers, he might struggle just a little bit, especially with the lack of match practice. But Pep might not have any option. He might have the option than to play John Stones, but we'll have a look when we do our little start 11 in a minute. So let's have a look at the Brighton game and the bench and the 11 that started. I mean, the subs, Ortega, Stones, Aki, Gundo, Alvarez, Gomez, Foden, Palmer and Lewis, they were all on the subs bench against Brighton. Shouts for Ortega, of course, after the good and the bad from Edison on Saturday, but I still don't think he'll be put in for this one. I don't think Pep will drop Edison for this. I'll be incredibly surprised if he does. Stones, as mentioned, possibility, as I say, with the right back, a problem. But again, I just can't particularly see it, although it won't be a big surprise. Aki and Gundogan surely must come back into the reckoning, surely must start this game. Certainly Aki, who's done absolutely nothing wrong, and he's been missing games when perhaps he may think himself he should have been playing. So I think Aki and Gundo must come back for this. But obviously you've got the old Gundo-Rodri pivot here, haven't we, which doesn't always work, but sometimes does. Possibility with Alvarez, but again, he's not been getting enough minutes on the pitch to show any sort of level of consistency, not his fault. But of course, if Haaland's knock is a problem, then I fully expect Alvarez might make an appearance. But as I said, fingers crossed. I don't think Haaland's too bad. I did forget in my Brighton summing up talking points about Gomez being suspended. I think I sort of mentioned he might be potential there, but obviously suspended for this game because of the sending off. And Foden surely starts. Okay, he came on, didn't he, for about 20, 30 minutes against Brighton. But I'm sure Foden will start in this one. And Palmer and Lewis, of course, just won't. It's as simple as that. If one of them starts, I will be looking at it and thinking what the hell's going on. So there you go. Edison, Mahrez and Grealish are the guys I thought who were a bit below par, to say the least, against Brighton. Say Edison, we got the good and the bad with Edison, unfortunately. And Kanji admittedly struggled as well, but I mean, Kanji's got a little bit of credit in the bank still. He's been asked to play at right back, which isn't his strongest point, and I think it'll be a big chance if we play him at right back against Dortmund. I think he'll get roasted. In fairness, so I want to see a Kanji play, but not particularly at right back, that's for sure. And I think Grealish and Mahrez, although I'm not overly sure whether Pep will not use one of them at least. I think they deserve to have a little rest as well after the Brighton game. But as I said, Pep may be inclined to use one of them. I don't think it'll be Mahrez if he does, that's for sure. So this is my City 11 based on talking about what I've just talked about. This is my City 11, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your 11 is. Say this, if I get 7 or 8 of these, I'll be happy. I've been doing quite well, of course, recently. Get 10s and 11s out of 11 last few games, but this is a funny one. This is an hard one. So I'm going to go Ederson, Cancelo on the right, although it's not, for me, it's not his strongest position, even though it's his natural position in theory. Ederson, Cancelo, Akanji and Diaz. So Laporte, I've kept him out just in case that knock is a little bit he needs a rest from. And Aki on the left. I think we'd have to do that, wouldn't we? As I say, no Gomez, and of course Cancelo on the right. And as I say, the only other option would be Stones, of course, but I've took into account that Stones won't be playing in this. I think Stones could be in for a bit of a hiding if he does. The middle, Rodri, KDB, Gundogan. Don't think there's anything there. The old Rodri Gundo pivot that probably might work, might not work. And up front's an interesting one. I say I've not mentioned Bernardo yet, have I? And I've stuck Foden, Haaland, hopefully, and Bernardo up front. I just want Bernardo up where he can cause some bother. He likes European games. He causes a lot of aggravation to the European players, winds players up. I just think it might be great up there, as I said. So that's my team. It's been on the screen for you to look at. Let me know your team. As I said, if we get 7 or 8 of that, I'll be quite happy. Of course, there's so much I'm not too sure about there with those teams. I just think Gundo and Bernardo will both be in there. Of course, we do have the problem with Grealish and Mahrez. And I said I'm not going to be surprised if one of them appears, but at this point in time, I'm saying Pep will rest both. So we'll see. So unlucky Stones, of course, who might not quite be at it. And as I said, I don't want him to play it right back and get turned inside out. Laporte, I think, is unlucky just because I think he might get arrested if he did get a little bit of a knock. And of course, Alvarez, who still awaits his chance, doesn't he? So there you go. And I will say, and be kind, he's rested. He's rested Grealish and Mahrez. Let's say that. And Ederson has got another chance, if you like. Say after doing the good and the bad last time. Let me know what your thoughts. Anyway, guys, say it's all opinions. Hope I made some sense with my rattling on. Of course, I'll be back. I'm also back with the Odds Show. Check that out. This is going out before the Odds Show, so check the Odds Show out and see if there's any bits of value. And I think there will be with this. I've not looked yet, but I think there will be with this game. And of course, after the game, there may be a live player rating show, or it might just be a player rating show. But that'll probably be out. If not on after the game, if it's live, that'll be out the following day on the Wednesday, followed, of course, by the Talking Points show, where we look a bit more in depth at the game with the match stats and facts, etc., etc. So please let me know. Please share me your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one. As I say, I'll be happy with the draw. I do think we could possibly, we're not at it. I think we might lose this one. So I'm being Mr. Negative, but it won't be a disaster. But I'm not too sure we're in the right frame of mind. But it'd be great to get a win because I want to be in the right frame of mind going to the old King Power. I say Kung Power then. I always say Kung Power. King Power on Saturday. So anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Thanks for watching. Please, until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.